everyone, welcome to another fun-packed video. So this weekend we're having a long weekend away on the Kennet Avon Canal. We will be picking the boat up from a small base at Bristol Basin, which is a tiny arm just off the Kennet Avon, outside of Bath, and we will be travelling, hopefully, up towards Bristol, where we intend to have a look at Bristol Basin, turn around and head back towards Bath. What's lovely about this weekend is we're going to be joined by some former crewmates. So you might remember in previous blogs we featured our first mate and our chief engineer, and obviously from our side it's myself, ship's boy, and our security officer who's getting a couple of well-earned winks before he resumes duties. So this weekend we've got 3 nights on board narrowboats, where we will hopefully be able to show you some new culinary challenges, some new takes on some old favourites, as well as hopefully a tour of the boat. And we've been asked for an explanation on how locks work. So join us over the course of the next few days to see this and hopefully lots of fun and adventures as we journey along the Kennet Avon.
As ship's boy, I drew the short straw and had to push the swingbridge whilst everybody else remained on board.
Hi everyone, so we're on the Kennet Avon Canal now, and just had quite an interesting handover from some old chap who has clearly spent most of his life on the Inland Waterways, and ironically he had to drive us down Bristol Basin to the lift bridge and open the lift bridge for us, and only at that point were we allowed to then take over and continue on our merry way. So when we return the boat on Monday morning, we've got to ironically take it up there ourselves through the lift bridge and up to the basin. So not quite sure what that's all about, but it's something to do with their lease agreements at Bristol Basin. Anyway, we're on the Kennet Avon and we've just gone past Dundas Aqueduct, which if you take that route takes you sort of in the Reading direction. We're heading towards Bristol. If we get time on our way back, then we will do Dundas Aqueduct and head towards Pulteney and Bradford on Avon, but we'll see. So right now we've got a short stretch with no locks, so once I finish speaking to you, then I'm going to go and do some drinks and possibly a cream tea. So later on I will give you a tour of the boat, but just so you can see, I'm on the bow having one of my chats with you, and there's everybody else in the background. Jerry's like, I'll have one. Anybody else?
We found this to be a very busy stretch of canal, with lots of moored boats, tour boats, and people enjoying themselves along the towpath.
So we're doing the first few locks on the Kennet Avon this weekend. So the guys have set and completed the lock behind me, and Trevor's just sitting in the lock there. You can see the boat, and I am just setting the next lock. So as you can see, I've got the paddles open, the lock's filling, and there's a boat unfortunately going down in front of us, so we're going to have to set every single lock. It's going to be quite hard work. We will give you a tutorial on the locks, but essentially if you're going down the locks you need to enter a full chamber, open the gates, the boat comes in, close the gates, open the bottom paddles, let the lock drain, open the gates, and then the boat can exit. So apologies for the slightly shaky hand. I'm walking to the fourth lock in Bath as we make our way downhill. We're taking it in turns, so Scott and I are sort of leapfrogging one another, and Elaine's working the majority of the lock as the boat comes in and out. So I've just left the pair of them to get Trevor into the lock with the boat and Jerry, and I'm walking on down. There's a boat in front of us, and I can shut the gates for them and get the paddles open and start getting the lock drained, ready for, sorry, not drained, filled, the pound drained, ready for Trevor to bring the boat down to lock 4. So I believe there's 6 locks on this small flight, right through the middle of Bath, so lots of lovely Bath stone, lots of lovely Bath buildings. You can hear the traffic and the railway just down the hill from here. Lots of people out walking the towpath. It's Friday, so people are having an evening stroll, getting set up for the weekend. School's clearly out. We've seen lots of school kids sat around. Loads of boats moored up here. Really, really popular. Just sat here, balanced on the arm of the lock gate. There's the boat waiting to come in. Only one paddle is working on this lock, so it's taking a long time to fill up. See, it's still got a few feet to go. Elaine and I are patiently waiting. Jerry is squeaking away, waiting, not quite so patiently. Perhaps Trevor should get his bucket out and start filling the lock by hand. So we're on the UK's second deepest lock, just about filled now. Scott and Elaine have got the lock gate at the other end and they operating the paddles. I'm down the other end overlooking the deepness of this lock. In fact, it's so deep. Look at that, it's amazing. Must be going on for nearly 20 metres. And apparently, because it's so deep, you have to operate the gates themselves with a windlass. Wow.
So, as you can see there, those gates, those are the bottom gates of Bath Deep Lock, the second deepest lock in the country. I've just operated them twice. You have to do it by windlass rather than pushing because they're so heavy. And yeah, it's rather tiring work. However, only one more lock to go down there, and it looks like a small one, so I'm going to head on and prep it after that green boat's been through, and hopefully soon we'll get to somewhere that we can moor up.
As we exit Bath Bottom Lock, otherwise known as Widdicombe Lock, we pass under a bridge of Gongeslers. We are going to turn right and head up the River Avon, 1/4 mile, to the Weir with the backdrop of the iconic Pulteney Bridge, designed by Robert Adam and built in 1774 in the Palladian style. Trevor wins the boat expertly with no bumps or scrapes. We head down the River Avon, passing Bath Spa railway station on our left. I've often looked out from the train window and wondered what it must be like down on the river, and now I have the chance to find out. So we're now on the River Avon. We've just been through our first river lock, and Jerry and I have walked along the footpath by the river. It's opposite a main road which is quite noisy, but I don't know where we're going to find some more up, but I have found this tiny little spot here which is probably going to be deep enough to get the boat in. So I'm now sort of stood amongst the trees in the hopes that we're going to be able to flag down the boat as they approach us. So Jerry and I are here. Jerry's really not happy about this. Thinks this is a ridiculous idea, but we've been warned there's not many moorings, so I'm inclined to take this one as we have found it and the light's going. So we really need to stop in a minute. But other than the road, it seems fairly tranquil. And there's some trees to tie up to.